Hello, beauties, and welcome to a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We're doing another episode of my money journey, so let's get into it. So next, we're on chapter 2, which is titled Your Money Story. So I'm gonna have trigger warnings in the description for this part, but it goes into a brief story about an apartment that the author previously lived in, where someone who lived there happened to take his life by jumping off of their apartment building. And this is basically the last bit of what he says about this, which is, when I think about this man and the way his life ended so suddenly, I can't possibly explain why this happened. I cannot speculate about his relationship with family, friends, or business acquaintances. But one thing I do know about him is that he had money. He was known to have a few $100 million in the bank. But even with all that money, this man was dealing with things that made him feel that the only thing he could do that day was to leave this world and everything in it, and he isn't alone. If you are confused by the relationship between money and mental health, know this: no matter how much or how little you have, the relationship people have with their money wounds is real. So, number 1 of this list is lack of training. You may have chosen not to go to college, and now you feel like you should have, or vice versa. You start thinking that if you had gone to this college instead of that one, you'd be in a better place. You believe that the lie that you have to get the right degrees or the best grades, or maybe sign up for training program from the right inspirational speaker to make it. Number 2 on this list is no time. You feel so overwhelmed by your job that all you can do is plop on the couch for a few minutes before you go to bed, wake up, and do it all over again the next day. You believe the lie that there's no extra time to make more money because you already work so much and come home to cook, clean, work out, and be with your family. The third one is lack of focus. You have tons of amazing ideas for making money, but no clue how to pick one and make it happen. So you keep yourself stuck in a cycle of coming up with a great idea, getting excited about it, talking about it, jotting down some notes, and moving along with your day. Rinse and repeat. You believe the lie that most money comes to those with the most ideas. Number 4 on this list is no resources. If it takes money to make money, you're already at a loss because you don't have any investors. And even if you did, you don't have a team to help you get started. There are too many people you need to hire to get things off the ground, and you have no way to pay them. You don't expect anyone to work for free, so you try to save money to finally have enough to launch your idea. You believe that the lie that your path to wealth must run through other people's. I definitely feel like the no resources one speaking to me a lot. I definitely think that's a lie that I tell myself a lot. I think I tell myself the no time one a lot. So number 5 is fear of the unknown. This is where your brain jumps into what if mode. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I can't manage wealth? What if I pick up a high-paying career and hate it? You have no frame of reference for what you want to do, so you come up with all the reasons why it would be better to stay in your nice, familiar comfort zone. You believe the lie that by imagining the worst-case scenario about money, you can prevent trouble from coming your way. Whoa. As someone with mad anxiety, fear of the unknown, that's a big issue with my money. My money. Alright, so number 6 is lack of self-worth. You simply don't believe in yourself, and some part of you don't believe you're worthy of making more than you are at this moment. You're insecure, afraid, and uncertain about what will happen next. You make a lot of stupid mistakes you aren't proud of, and then you shame yourself into thinking you're not capable of making the changes necessary to get yourself out of your current situation. You believe the lie that you don't deserve money. Oh, just stick that one right in the chest, dude, because that one hits home. Honestly, yeah. Number 7 is thinking money is bad. You've learned that if you want money, you're greedy. Since you believe that money is bad, you must be bad too for wanting more of it. Guilt and shame start rushing in, and you try to forget about the things you want to do by pushing those ideas away whenever they pop up in your head. You believe the lie that you won't be a good person anymore if you have a lot of money. Now that's a really interesting one. I've met people who have this lie in their head about money, but thankfully that is not a lie I have in my head about money, and thank goodness I don't, because I already got, from what I'm seeing here, I already got plenty of lies in my head about money that I need to adjust. I'm glad I don't have this one, because so far I was looking at them like, dang, do I really have all these lies about money? Like, what's going on with that? Let's talk about it. Number 8 on this list is self-sabotage. When you have money, it becomes a burden and puts a strain on your life that you don't want. Maybe you have others asking you for financial support. Maybe you feel guilty for not helping more. Because you feel like that, you tend to spend your money too fast or give too much away and end up back where you started. You believe the lie that more money must come with more problems. Interesting. I have like the opposite, where like I feel like more money would fix all my problems. Well, certain problems. Not emotional problems, but like everything else, which I know is also a lie that I'm telling myself. Number 7 is thinking money is bad. You've learned that if you want money, you're greedy. Since you believe that money is bad, you must be bad too for wanting more of it. Guilt and shame start rushing in, and you try to forget about the things you want to do by pushing those ideas away whenever they pop up in your head. You believe the lie that you won't be a good person anymore if you have a lot of money. Now that's a really interesting one. I've met people who have this lie in their head about money, but thankfully that is not a lie I have in my head about money, and thank goodness I don't, because I already got, from what I'm seeing here, I already got plenty of lies in my head about money that I need to adjust. I'm glad I don't have this one, because so far I was looking at them like, dang, do I really have all these lies about money in my head? Like, number 8 on this list is self-sabotage. When you have money, it becomes a burden and puts a strain on your life that you don't want. Maybe you have others asking you for financial support. Maybe you feel guilty for not helping more. Because you feel like that, you tend to spend your money too fast or give too much away and end up back where you started. You believe the lie that more money must come with more problems. Interesting. I have like the opposite, where like I feel like more money would fix all my problems. Well, certain problems. Not emotional problems, but like everything else, which I know. So my top 3 money lies are no time, no resources, a lack of self-worth. And I definitely think that is a good summary of the feelings that I've been feeling inside about money and the lies I've been telling myself and that have been told to me since I was a young child, I feel like, or been shown to me. On this day, if the story you tell yourself is that you have no time to make more money, why would you ever try to make the time to do it? If the story you tell yourself is that you're not worthy of wealth, why would you ever try to get any? If the story you tell yourself is that money is bad, why would you ever want more of it? And if you think you have no connections, why would you ever reach out to anyone? The reality is that our money struggles have little to do with money itself and everything to do with the stories we tell ourselves about it. We've all got them is the next title for the next section. Part where chapter 2 starts to get a little deeper because we start to get into my money story. So number 1 is, what did you learn about money as a child? So I wrote down here, let's see, lots of stress and anxious energy coming from my dad. Was told to always make enough so I would never have to rely on a man for money. I thought we had money as a kid because we lived in a nice home, but we didn't really have money. Heard a lot of no's in regards to money from my parents. We can't afford that, that's too expensive. Missed out on a lot of things because of not a lot of money. Don't be frugal, but also spend it when you have it. Not good with math. And then it says here,
When you can reflect on what influenced your relationship with money, it's easier to make conscious changes to the way you interact with and feel about money. Yeah, these ones were really interesting to answer here. There's a lot to think about when you really start to deal in what story you've been replaying within your head when it comes to money, and how that affects literally everything you do with money moving forward. And I'm like, I knew it was deep, but I'm realizing it's even deeper than I thought because of this book. Alright, y'all, this is gonna be a long vlog. So then number 2 is, what is your current relationship with money? And so then I wrote down for this one, anxious all the time. Do I deserve more than what I have? Never seem to have enough. Every month I'm not sure about rent. I feel unequipped when I don't have it to survive, and unequipped to keep it when I do have it. I can't save for the life of me. What even is investing? And then number 3 is, what do you believe to be true about money? And then right here I wrote, I don't think money itself is bad or good. I think what you do with it can be bad or good. Money is just a tool. I don't care about status. I just want to live comfortably. I think there's enough money for everyone, but that there's less. But the elites out there don't want everyone to have money. I don't believe that money buys happiness, but I do believe it could solve a lot of my problems with. Alright, so number 4 is, how do your emotions affect your spending or savings? And then I wrote, if I'm happy with what's in my bank account, I will spend hella money, but not save any of it. When I'm stressed, I find myself constantly checking my account. My spending doesn't change. I spend just as much, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Let's see. When I'm stressed, I find myself constantly checking my account. My spending doesn't change. I spend just as much. Okay, I just... Alright, so number 5 is, what are your greatest financial fears? And I wrote down, I'm afraid of never having enough. I'm afraid of losing everything. I'm afraid I'll never make enough to have a savings. Retiring isn't an option. I'm afraid to rely on others financially. I'm afraid of owing people money. I'm afraid of failing financially. Whatever that means. Okay, and then number 6 is, what words do you use to talk about money? And then I put, lucky to have it, afraid to lose it, isn't meant for me, bad with money, difficult, fleeting, not satisfied, scarcity. Then it says here, what about words like invest, save, raise, affluent, entrepreneur, are prosperous? Good words to keep in my head. Can I replace those words? I think I can. Last but not least is, how would you like your relationship with money to change? I wrote, I want to be comfortable with having/keeping money. I want to push myself to be less frugal. I want my relationship to be less fearful. I want to be confident with the money I have and be confident enough to earn more in the future. It says, this vision of a different kind of relationship can help you stay motivated and keep you moving forward. The more you do the work to understand your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors as they relate to money, the more opportunities you have for your money story to evolve. Alright, y'all, this is the last part that I'm going to be reading for you all in this vlog for chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a super long chapter. There's a lot going on here now that we're starting the process of getting to know my money story and what comes next from that. The last bit of this reads, now that you have a stronger understanding of your money story, I invite you to pause and think about one more question, because it will shape your direction on this money journey. What does being rich mean to you? And I answered, having enough to survive and having extra to be creative, having my loved ones surrounding me, being able to help my parents financially. I'm going to end this video here because, like I said, this is a really long chapter, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get it all done in one video, and I don't want this video to be more than 30 minutes long. That would be the longest I would like my vlogs to be. I'm trying to keep my vlogs under 30 minutes. So thank you all so much for popping in. I really hope this is interesting and informational, and hopefully this will inspire you to find out more about your money story and how you can move forward with that information.